I think one more from this book. It's called Prospero's Day Off. Raindrops, Pepper Lake, oil droplets on asphalt, waiting for the oil man, scraped together for 150-gallon minimum, Mary and Mom off visiting niece, winds came up early and came, 30-mile-per-hour gusts, said Weather Channel, who don't know this particular lake, stood on shore, face to face, rode tree swing up and into tempest gales, nerves aglow, senses stripped, waiting only for Mr. Tambourine Man, my professorial posture repealed, but only the oil man appeared, and I'm damn glad he did. Actually, I think I will do one more from this book called Solar Returns. Day-o, glistening island sun, take a carnival cruise in my little rowboat, but it's 40 degrees and the boat leaks. Van Morrison on the box, too long in exile until we get the healing done. But for now, thankful for a wee bit of sun after yesterday's first snow that stuck, barely broke 30 degrees, 2 layers of socks, 2 sweaters in the house, burning fossils, eating carbs, that old cave mentality returns, almost enough to make one a Republican. There will be a political portion of the show, but not quite yet. This one's called Fireflies for Karen. Our first kiss, vertigo, so steep the green swathed, moon-blanketed slope, we had to hold each other up. September, yet miraculously, fireflies. I'm going to switch to the Topicalities book. The new book came out last spring. And these are topical poems. These are, poems about current issues, political and social and cultural and stuff like that. And in the foreword, not completely by coincidence, in the foreword, I say, at a recent Wheeler Hill reading, Susan Deercloud alluded to a poet who apologized before reading a political poem. Expect no such apologies here. And I think I'll start with my Wendell Berry poem, since Bill McKibben's coming. It's kind of like a prose version of Wendell Berry this evening. Looking very much forward to seeing him Thursday at RIT. Virtual Wendell Berry, rushed out of work and onto the freeway, burning fossil fuels to get to reading by the famous farmer poet. Hear why we need to slow down to mule speed and learn to jettison consumerist dissatisfactions. Become human beings again in human-scale communities. But first, I'm shunted into snaking line around reflecting pool at the art museum, then herded along with 100 or more ethical sheep into the overflow pen, wainscoted and elegant, to watch our contemporary Thoreau over live video stream get an award for truth-telling. Right after 2 words from our sponsors, a local state university branch and a globalizing bank. This one's called More Light. More light, Goethe reputedly said on his deathbed. Veritas est lux, the West mantra from Plato to M. Edison. One more light bulb pops in a cartoon character's head. The third eye above the pyramid is the emblem of our epistemological currency. Google Sling more light gets you. Microsoft shines more light on Longhorn. New documents shed more light on FBI's carnivore. Researchers shed more light on bird flu. Shedding more light on a leaky skylight. Study previews ice sheet melting, rapid climate change. The quest for light, quest for fire, quest for warmth. All those Paleolithic nights spent huddled in Plato's cave, eating the mastodon cold without Tabasco. Who could blame the Enlightenment for confusing lux with veritas? And another Gulf War is tolerable, Moxie Fruva sang, so long as it gets us longer turns in the shower. More showers, more comfort, more convenience, and veritas, not to worry, there's plenty of truthiness to go around. Tasty on the tongue, low carb, certified organic, no windblown GMO pollens, no trans fats, and certainly no inconvenient truths, I guarantee it. Okay, now that the tape is back on, I'm going to read you my Halloween poem. This is an inappropriate poem. This poem begins with a numeral and ends with a preposition. This poem is written for no occasion. This poem serves no utilitarian purpose, nor has any ideological purity, and can't be heard above the partiers anyway. This poem does not deserve a charitable deduction, but takes it anyway. This poem is a kidney car without a heart. This poem is a photograph of a pumpkin puking out its guts. This poem is an art video of someone discoloring a brick by repeated urinations. This poem is three nuns demonstrating a fart joke. This poem is a calico kitty playfully biting the head off a bat. This poem begins with a proposition and ends in shame and disgrace. This poem never worked a day in its life but lives off the kindness of strangers. This poem wants to go straight, honest. This poem don't want to go to rehab, no, no, no. This poem died long ago but still haunts Walmarts, greeting customers with a gummy grin and a bony handshake. This poem just wandered into socially responsible satire, which is against the rules of this poem, yet it feels no remorse. This poem wandered for weeks in a shitstorm of its own making. This poem only wants to know you if you are on the board of the MacArthur Foundation. This poem shook the hand of someone who shook the hand of someone who shook the hand of P.T. Barnum and Charlie Chan, just one of the many plagiarisms in this poem. This poem may help you out of a jam one day, but it's likely to use a little too much force, another plagiarism. This poem always goes too far. This poem is one Merlot too many and one toke over the line. This poem just ruined a perfectly good shirt in the Oval Office. This poem spilled red wine on the boss's oriental carpet and never fessed up. This poem freely and hungrily exchanges bodily fluids. This poem steals indiscriminately and never includes citations. This poem cruises the playgrounds looking for hall monitors it can corrupt. This poem traded a 1961 Mantle Maris card for one single fix. This poem torched a brand new 2008 Sestina. This poem is a three-piece suit at a Bauhaus concert. This poem is just looking for a handout. This poem, after Beckett, will go on, no, will stop, no, will go on. This poem is a dog that shoots its master. This poem is a comedian who barks on his audience. This poem will not be your bride, nor fix your hard drive, nor find the cure for global warming, nor answer your prayers, nor tell you the what for. Okay, let's do one more dirty poem, and then we'll go to socially responsible poems. Good. It's called Venusian Hermeneutics. This was there was a Valentine's Day reading I wrote this for at the bookstore in Honeywell Falls a couple years ago. Is there a sexual hieroglyphic for personal ads? Does enjoy walks on the beach mean like to get my drawers sandy? Does love sharing sunsets mean do me from behind? Does looking for a good conversationalist translate to enjoy oral? Does love dogs and cats mean it's okay to bite and scratch, just don't give me fleas? Does artistic mean kinky? Does traditional mean missionary position only? Does looking for Mr. Right mean I prefer Mr. Wrong? Does country girl mean let's play horsey? Does sophisticated mean looking for menage a trois? Does looking for a good Christian woman mean someone to keep the house clean while I'm down at the highway rest stop with the congressman? Does I serve at the pleasure of the president mean just a little to the left, Condoleezza? I'm going to read, I think I'm going to read a poem for a different pub than this, a different cafe, if I can find it here. This was a protest poem when my pub in Avon closed down. Well, they moved to the train station to a glitzier place. Somewhere, a second. Oh, here it is. Okay. For Duffy's Tavern, Avon, New York. Give me a bar with no right angles in it, just inviting glow of a warm cave built into a steep hillside where wind bent the weary traveler needn't straighten to enter. No need to genuflect either in this sanctuary with good local ale on tap from honeyed Honeyoy Falls and local lore on the tongue in stories of the regulars like what caused which fire, when was the coldest winter, how far do the valley salt deposits extend, or how many pounds of ice could an Iceman haul? Now, train depot restaurants are fine in their way, better still when an actual train goes by, but your only pub is the pub with no right angles in it. Well, since the election's tomorrow, I couldn't let it pass by. So this is a, and this is a really overtly political. Okay, and this is called a Planksty for Barack. And a Planksty is a poem of praise, or song of praise in Irish musical tradition, mostly associated with O'Carrollin playing the harp and writing Planksties for anyone that would buy him a meal. Revving up the McPalin rally, police chief in uniform leads derisive chant, Barack Hussein Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. You can chime in. Barack Hussein Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Nothing wrong with this name, nothing wrong with Barack's game. Say it loud, say it proud. Barack Hussein Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Oh mama, Barack Hussein Obama. Bring in the noise, bring in the funk, bring in the White House, bring in the Prez. Not since Lester Young left in, not since Diz studied anthropology, not since Miles was kind of blue, not since Bud, not since Bird, not since Epistrophe, not since Pork Pie Hat, not since Green Dolphin Street. not since Ruby, my dear, not since Ellingtonia, not since Marian Anderson at the Lincoln Memorial, not since Harry Belafonte, not since Paul Robeson, not since Sam Cooke, not since Blueberry Hill, not since Scott Joplin, not since Mr. James Brown, not since P. Funk, not since Satan on the dock of the bay, not since I Too Sing America, not since Phyllis Wheatley, not since Nat Turner, not since Malcolm, not since Crazy Horse, not since Free Huey P. Newton, not since Free John Sinclair, not since they killed Fred Hampton and Medgar Evers and Dr. King, not since Reconstruction, not since the Stoner Rebellion, not since the Tuskegee Airmen, not since Jesse Owens, not since Jim Thorpe, not since the Black Star Line, not since the Talented Tenth, not since Harriet Tubman, not since Ida B. Wells, not since the Freedom Rides, not since Saul Alinsky, not since Studs Terkel, not since Aretha, not since God's Trombones, not since Exodus, movement of Ja people, not since I'll be at the table when company comes, not since a long time coming, not since Follow the Drinking Gourd, not since Standing by the River, not since Crossing the River Jordan, not since The Answer, My Friend, not since Once in a Lifetime, not since ever, not since never in your lifetime, not since ever even a fragment of a whiff of a dream deferred, a wing and a prayer, not ever, even maybe, even ever, even ever, only since Barack Hussein Obama. I think I'm gonna end with one more for the top of Callie's book, and it's called October Revelation. And 4 years ago, Ed Sanders asked various poets to contribute poems about an October surprise. You know, what if there was an October surprise before the election? And then he published a number of these in the Woodstock Journal. And then, there was no October surprise, but there was a November surprise, and I didn't read this for a long time because I was too dispirited. But now I think it's time to read it again. And after the battles, we saw the one sign W come down from the sky saying, "Mission accomplished," and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, "Babylon the great is fallen, and the statues of Sodom have come crashing down. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord George who judgeth her, and the ministers of Europe who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come." Now there followed a year and a day of torments and tribulations for the people of Babylon, but also for their captors, and even for the one with the mark of the W. And there were revealed pictures of torture and fornication and shameful debaucheries of captives, and the pictures were sent on the wind into the mind's eye of every man, woman, and child on earth. And George the slayer of Sodom, which means evil one, was shown to be his twin, and he feared lest he be bested by John, soldier of truth. So George the W rallied his legions and vowed to protect the earth against the terrors, and told everyone not to look too closely at the man behind the curtain, lest they be struck blind, but to trust in his divine right. But the pictures kept returning to the mind's eye of the people and caused them to lose their resolve. So George W said, "Gird up your loins for the coming battle, for this is to be the final battle, and I have hidden knowledge to impart today, which will break through the foul and hidden mist that conceal." So George of Arbusto stood before a burning bush, his symbol, in his cowboy shirt and denim pants and boots boots of Spanish leather and 10-gallon hat. And lo, his whole appearance changed before their eyes, while his clothes became white, dazzling white, whiter than any earthly bleaching could make them. And the whole earth's people were afraid and bowed down and knew their master. And he divided them all into those with oil and money and those without. And to those haves he gave more, even unto eternal riches. And to those have-nots he gave the eternal shaft. And where there was an obelisk dedicated to George W., he erected an oil derrick in his own honor. And where there was Alaskan tundra, he made desert. And his kingdom will have no end. Or so he saw in his mind's eye under the spell of Rove, the court magician. But the people of the world took 8 years, but the people of the world and even the gullible of America saw George W. standing naked in Texas dust with his cowboy shirt and denim pants and boots of Spanish leather and 10-gallon hat scattered on the ground before him, and the drool dropping from his smiling lips.